I'm Shay Russell from mining.com.au, and joining me today is the Managing Director for Black Canyon, Brendan Cummins. Brendan, it's fabulous to see you again. How are you?
Yeah, g'day Shay. Good to be back and chatting again about the discoveries we've made over at Wandanya.
It certainly is. Now, let's talk about an announcement that came out on the 7th of July. Now, prior to this announcement, in our last interview, you talked about how there was visible mineralisation at surface, but this announcement that came out on the 7th, these assay results confirm a high-grade discovery at the Wandanya Project. Can you elaborate on what these assays mean?
I think, I guess what we're trying to demonstrate to the market is the scale and the grade potential of the discoveries we've made for both manganese and iron at Wandanya. So September last year, we drilled a very small area of the Wandanya discovery. We only drilled 240 strike metres, and we got 5 to 7 metres at around 25-30% manganese. With this program, we've actually gone 2 kilometres to the north. So 2 kilometres to the north. The results we put out as part of that release of the 7th was just 3 holes from a line that's 800 metres long. So this is a substantial bulk style mineralisation, and the results we put out were over 800 metres. We've released results for a iron hole, a manganese iron hole, and a pure manganese hole. Now, the manganese results we received were as good as what we'd drilled at Wandanya, the W2 prospect last year, but the iron results were actually really exceptional, very high grade. So hole WDRC57, we got around 12 metres at 60% iron, including 7 metres at 64% iron. So that's high-grade hematite iron. You really don't get much better than that in the iron ore space. And with the manganese, one of the holes that we released was 8 metres at 31% manganese from 5 metres. So good thick intersects of manganese, shallow scale. What more do I need to say? It's developing really well.
Actually, I think what you do need to say is talk about the sheer length of this. You know, people often assume that visible mineralisation just runs for a few tens of metres, but you mentioned 800 metres. You know, this thing has an enormous amount of scale here. Just how unusual is this out in this region?
I think the fact that it's just been sitting there and no one found it before is really been the opportunity for Black Canyon. The manganese we've mapped is 3 kilometres long. Now we've got drilling across it, and it's between 200 and 480 metres wide, and between 4 to 8 metres thick. So we're really getting the right numbers, certainly for the manganese. And from what I saw in the hematite mineralisation, again, there's a 2 kilometre section that is higher grade in the southern part of that. The overall iron that we've mapped in there is 5 kilometres long. And we've really only just started drilling that. So really excited about the next programs that we look to getting into that area as well. But it's really hard to talk about scale when it's thousands of metres long.
And certainly, speaking of getting a handle of the scale of this project, I know you've got money in the bank, and there is another exploration program out in the way. In fact, you said off camera that you'll be heading out into the bush again soon. Tell me, what does this next phase of exploration look like?
So we've drilled 2 kilometres now of the 3 kilometre long manganese target, and so the next program we're just going to be drilling the next 1 kilometre. So we've got drill cross lines across the whole 3 kilometre strike of the manganese. And for the iron, the same thing. We'll just be drilling more holes across strike for the iron as well. So at the end of the March quarter, we had about 2.65 million in the bank. We're certainly well funded to go ahead with the next 2 or 3 months drilling programs that we've got planned, get the assays back, and start thinking about what we do next in terms of infill drilling, diamond drilling, potentially getting out a resource by the end of the year as well. So a lot of activity, a lot of news flow coming our way.
There certainly is, Brendan. Listen, thank you for taking the time to jump on today. I look forward to speaking with you again.
Thanks, Jay. Appreciate it.